I guess it was a number of years ago. I had, spent a really wonderful evening with a scientist and an acrobat, among other things, an extraordinary dancer by the name of Jeremy Zucker in Boston. And, I had a superb night with him, and I asked him permission to write about it. And I did, because he had fulfilled a great fantasy of mine. Ever since I was young and saw the acrobats in the air, and I saw this one acrobat fall out of the sky holding on to a bungee, and he leaned down to a maiden, which I haven't been in years. A maiden was on the floor, and his long hair just brushed down as he kissed her, and I thought that was so beautiful and romantic. And so when Jeremy came in to wake me up, I got that treatment, and I realized fantasy, and it was pretty wonderful. So I asked him if I could write about it, and he said sure, and it's up in one of my journals somewhere. But anyway, he was talking to an acquaintance of mine. I had done a little bit of work helping the pop goth group Incus, and the leader, the founder of the band, Jason Cohen, said to Jeremy, Youth likes to talk about his friends. Well, in that context, it certainly takes things out of proportion, but it certainly is true that, I celebrate the accomplishments of my friends. Now, this is in an artistic sense and not a social sense. But I guess more than anything else, I celebrate the accomplishments of the women in my life. Gay, bisexual men, transgender people are where women were, hundreds of years ago as far as discrimination goes, and, issues like that, where they're looked upon as second-class citizens. And I've always said that hope is with the women. They have so much to overcome. There's no secret that there are a lot of places in the world where women who do the same jobs as men are not paid the same. And there are countries that take advantage of discriminatory legislation so they can get, two women doing the job of 10 men, and getting paid less than one man would get paid. And that's really disturbing to me, especially in a world where a lot of times, the women become the sole breadwinners, for whatever reasons. And society certainly has put a lot of pressure. They talk a good game about family values, but when you make it so impossible for single women to survive, on top of that, that's really adding insult to the injury of injustice. And so that's where I am particularly passionate about the women in my life, and to people who start these organizations or foundations. I even see it in bands where male figures take over when the real talent behind the whole thing are the women who come in with a Shirley Bassey sounding voice, haunting the magic that touches people. And they are consigned, the second-class seat, because the lead singer of the band, the boy usually in that case, is pretty to look at, and represents this whole image, Bacchanalian in some cases, but this whole image of the god Pan, and it's rather interesting to see that, that kind of negativity going through the walls, especially of the pagan community, and infecting many communities with this sexist attitude, which is pervasive, and it's sad. So yes, I do exercise a will to celebrate the accomplishments of women, and I advise other people to do so. The most important people in my life truly are women. Our high priestess of the Gossamer Court was a woman, although there were a few men that were volunteering for the job. One from Radical Fairies, who I love, and he would have been perfect. But Heather Kyle was more perfect. Danny Baker, who is our fire marshal, she came through at 16 or 17, and not only did the job of a male, but an adult male, at least with the perception of some of the firemen that I talked to, and in putting together a fire that burned well all night, keeping safety to a maximum, focus. I mean, it was just extraordinary, the job she did. When I think of other fire tenders in our community, like at Starwood, Willow and Raven and Bren, she's just amazing, and I love it when they shatter these stereotypical prejudices that men have about women not being able to do these amazing things, especially the physical. I'll tell you, there are cultures where women make the best soldiers, although that's contrary to what we're trying to do is a peace-loving affiliation. You can't help but respect the obstacles the female warriors have to overcome. So, I just shrug off a lot of the criticism that I get, in the case of talking about my friends. Well, yeah, I'm a writer. I try to keep the negativity to a minimum, unless I'm being outright attacked. And with all due respect to a lot of my New Age friends, that whole fuzzy bunny white light thing about, let people, learn their lessons, be patient with them, people were patient with you. Yeah, but at the same time, I've reached a point in my life where I would prefer that people learn their lessons at their own and not the expense of others. Especially over a lot of the things that are going on right now with the power structures, be it government or even tribal for that matter. And that is something else I find about the women in our tribe. They're much better at putting aside, differences that arise due to ego and vanity and some of these other things that are poison to one's spirituality. And they are willing to reach a common denominator, an accord, for the sake of the community. Probably that has to do with generation after generation of being mothers. Not saying that if one believes in reincarnation that you come back as the same or even different genders each time, which could explain a lot. So anyway, I encourage all, one and all, to celebrate the accomplishments of worthy women, the women who really go out there and bust their ass just as hard as everyone else. There has come that time when we need to put all of that gender bias crap aside. You know, we're all in a sinking lifeboat right now, and everyone needs everyone else. Thank you for listening. My name is Hugh Lundberg. I'm the Fairy King. Have a wonderful life.